Welcome to Lifestyle Solopreneur, the community for entrepreneurs who put lifestyle first. Join your host Flavia Barris as she interviews successful lifestyle solopreneurs and shares ideas to help you find the perfect balance between lifestyle, business, and self. Flavia is an attorney, marketing expert, and founder of several online academies. She's been featured in major media including BBC World News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, ESPN Television, and more. Join us for this episode of Lifestyle Solopreneur. Hey, Lifestyle Solopreneurs. Today we're speaking with Sandy Forster. She is the money mindset mentor for women worldwide who are ready to experience more abundance and freedom in their life. She went from welfare to millionaire, has been featured in Oprah's Aussie Secret, and loves inspiring and empowering women to break through their blocks, manifest more money, and create a life that they are truly passionate about. Welcome to the show, Sandy.
Thank you so much for having me, Flavia.
It's always great to chat with someone like you who is truly, truly in the flow, helping people. And I love talking to you because you have that energy that makes you want to talk more. Tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you end up where you are now? And what is it that you do today?
Well, gosh, my entrepreneurial journey is really quite unexpected. So basically, I fell in love with the aerobic era and I fell in love with exercising, but you couldn't buy nice leotards. So I decided to buy some Lycra and sew my own. And that kind of blossomed into a business where other people wanted me to make them leotards. And before I knew it, I was constantly buying nice Lycra down at the local discount store and designing not only gym wear, but designing swimwear as well. And I used to just do that from my garage every year. I'd sew all winter, and then in summer, I'd find an empty store down by the beach, and I'd open up and I'd sell all my swimwear. And it was really just a hobby business. It was just something I did on the side. I had married a man that I'd actually gone out with for 10 years while I was in high school. And then we ended up getting married. I had a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and we ended up divorced. So suddenly that business, which was just like the hobby business, which brought me money to maybe we did our landscaping or we went on a holiday or we bought some new furniture. Suddenly that was my entire income. And I was really struggling to make ends meet. And I just was going further and further backwards every day. It just wasn't bringing me enough money. So I ended up $100,000 in debt non-welfare, which was not a fun place to be. It was really scary. The welfare I was receiving at the time was about $7,500 US a year, which is nothing. And so going back financially day by day, I just felt really, I guess, ashamed and really embarrassed. I just thought the rest of the world had their money problems sorted and they knew all about how to make money and how to handle money and how to invest money and how to make it grow. And I was the only one that was just struggling so much. I was drowning in debt. And from that place, I kind of started looking around at ways that I could create an income because I realized that the designing and manufacturing swim and gym wear was not ever going to make me any money. And I seemed to be working all the time. If I wasn't working, I was thinking about work. It was really super stressful. And I very, very luckily discovered coaching. I trained to become a life coach. I loved that because I could work from home. I could choose my own hours. I only spoke with clients when I felt like it. And because I love my freedom, I decided very early on that I would do group coaching, which meant instead of speaking to 40 clients for an hour each over a week, I could speak for 1 hour a week to 40 people at once. And that I just loved that. So I fell in love with coaching, and very quickly by using the internet and learning all about marketing and internet marketing and having a website, by applying all that in my coaching business, it really blossomed, and I was able to then, become seen as an expert in what I did. And then I wrote a book and it became a bestseller. And, I grew an entire business around that book and have really gone on to do some amazing things. But it all came down to initially really getting clear on what I wanted, which was to be completely opposite from where I was. So, when I was $100,000 in debt and on welfare, all I used to dream about was being a millionaire. I just knew that if you're a millionaire, life would be good. You would have someone to clean your house. You could have a car that instead of leaking so badly that it grew a plant in the back, it would be a beautiful car and it would smell clean. You'd have your own house, all these things I used to dream of when I was $100,000 in debt. And, I feel so blessed and so lucky that it's all come to pass. And it all started with, changing my mindset and discovering the law of attraction and combining it with action. I think that's the missing piece for a lot of people. They think they can sit around and meditate or visualize and money's going to drop into their lap, but there's a little bit more to it than that. But, as I said, I feel so blessed that I've really embraced the law of attraction. I've really made it work for me. And now my passion is showing other people how to make it work for them and how they can completely transform their life and manifest a life they truly are passionate about.
And so you're the real deal. You were featured in Oprah's Aussie Secret. So tell us about that. Not everyone has maybe seen it. So tell us what that is, how you came about to be selected to be on it. Did you meet Oprah? How does all that work? Tell us about it, because that sounds fascinating.
So Oprah's Aussie Secret. So what happened was, you've probably heard of the movie The Secret. So it all started when I had heard about this movie, but we couldn't buy it in Australia. It was like I watched this 3-minute trailer and I thought, that looks interesting. That looks like it's aligned with what it is I teach. But I couldn't tell because it didn't talk about the law of attraction. It just talked about this secret. And I really wanted the movie. And I just felt like that movie was going to transform the world. I just felt like it was going to make a real difference. So I actually found the website and I wrote to the people on the secret website and said, I think what you're doing is great. I'd love to send you a gift. And I got an email back from Rhonda Byrne, who is the producer of The Secret. And she said, I don't know how I got your email. We get thousands of emails, but somehow your email came to me. Yes, I would love a present. So I sent her my book, How to Be Wildly Wealthy Fast. She read it and she emailed me back, did you watch The Secret and then write this book? I said, no, my book's been out for a couple of years now. She said, oh my gosh, it's so in alignment with The Secret. Anyway, from that point, I said to her, why can't we buy The Secret in Australia? I really want to watch it. So she sent me a copy to watch and I had a secret party at my house, but I said to her, why can't we buy it? Well, there's some sort of contract in place that until it airs on TV, we're not allowed to sell to Australia. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem right. I said, well, can't someone else sell it to Australia? She said, sure, but we're not allowed to. I said, well, I have a US company. My company would be more than happy to buy The Secret and then import it and sell it to Australians. She said, sure. So I lined that up. I started importing The Secret. That idea alone, and this is what I'm all about getting clear on what you want. And what I wanted was I was already by that point a millionaire, but I wanted more abundance. So I got clear on what I wanted and an inspired idea came and I took action on the idea. That kind of the missing piece for a lot of people. They come up with ideas and they don't take action. So I took action by just sending an email and that transpired into me importing The Secret, making about $3 million in less than a year just from doing that. And what happened around that time was one of Australia's biggest, women's magazine, sort of lifestyle magazine, wanted to do a story on The Secret, wanted to do a story on the law of attraction because Oprah at that time was doing a few stories on her show. And so they actually did a written piece. So no, I didn't get to fly over to America and meet my beautiful friend, Oprah. I call her my friend. But they did a story on me and what had transpired for me going from welfare to millionaire and how I was teaching what they called The Secret, teaching the law of attraction, and how Nicole Kidman also used it in her life. And, it was just really cool that something that may have previously seemed very alternative, very new age, very kind of woo-woo hippie type stuff was suddenly becoming very mainstream. And I think the movie The Secret really changed how people viewed the law of attraction and viewed the metaphysical, and made them realize that it's actually a real thing. And obviously since then, neuroscience has really come into the mix, and now people realize that it's definitely not a woo-woo thing. It's something real. We do have the ability to rewire our mind. And when we do that, we can completely transform our life and transform, what we create and attract and manifest in it. So that's my Oprah story. So I'm still to meet Oprah in person, as in talk to her face to face, but that will happen. It's on my list.
What an amazing story. What a great journey. So where are you today? What does an average week in the life of Sandy Forster look like today?
Okay. So number one thing I do every morning, I like to get up in the morning, I walk my dog along the beach, and I watch the sunrise. I've got a thing for the beach and for sunrises. So I always start my day off by doing that. Having said that, I get up around 4:00 and then I meditate first. But to actually start the day, I go down the beach and do my morning walk. But what I love to do on my walk, I take my iPhone with me. And it's not because I'm scrolling through social media, which is a complete waste of time. I have on my phone a thing called voice memos. I think most iPhones have it. And it is jam-packed with visualizations, affirmations, declarations, all sorts of things that I have created and recorded, so that when I'm doing something, and when I'm driving to the beach in the morning, when I'm at the beach, when I'm driving back home again, anytime that I'm not doing anything that I have to actually think about, if I want to feed my mind with something good, I'm listening to something that I've recorded, because I truly believe that what you put into your brain is what you then create. And that's one of the reasons why, yes, I have a TV, but it's not actually connected to the outside world. So I don't get free TV, I don't get pay TV. The only thing that goes in there is a DVD that I happen to put in there. So I get to choose what I watch. And for me, that works really well, because as I said, what you feed your brain, what you feed your mind becomes what you then create in your world. So first thing in the morning, it's all about creating my day, my life the way I want it to be. Then I come back home, usually have something to read, go and sit on the Bali day bed and, just chill out for a little while. I usually start work about 10 because that's when my VA starts. And then I just work online. And I love creating products and programs and new guided visualizations for my clients. And I'm obsessed with sharing everything I know about manifesting and money and law of attraction. It's something I would do even if it wasn't my business. I would still be learning everything I could about it. I would still be telling everyone I could about it. So I just feel really lucky that it's actually my business. And then, that's pretty much, every day, unless something comes up that I can go and do. I do a lot of podcasts, though. I'm interviewed a lot on podcasts, and I've recently just launched my own podcast, Wildly Wealthy Women, which is all about money, mindset, and manifesting. So for me, the weeks are pretty similar. It used to be I used to go on a lot of holidays overseas, but they've closed Australian borders, so that's not a happening thing at the moment. So I've got a few places on my list of things I want to do and go. I want to trek the El Camino from France to Spain, and I want to go to Thailand for a month at a health retreat. And I want to see the pyramids in Egypt. I've already been to 52 countries, but travel is something I love to do. So I'm just waiting for those borders to open in Australia. And they say it's not going to be till 2022 or 2023. So I'm just hanging in there. But my days are pretty much the same. And then weekends are just chilling out, doing whatever I want, whenever I want, which is pretty much sitting in the Bali hut all day and just reading something or researching something online, just having fun. That's it.
What a wonderful way to spend your weeks. I mean, I love the way you start your mornings with grounding yourself, being at the beach, watching a sunrise. What a lovely image in my mind of you every morning. And I know you can't travel yet, but I do know someone that I believe they did the El Camino virtually. There's apparently apps and programs you can use where you can track your steps. It's a way to kind of get motivated to walk more and bike more because it tracks every step you take during the day. And then it'll tell you how far along a famous hike or path you've come. And at the end, I think they send you a medal or something or certificate. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look into that. That sounds really cool.
And maybe you can do that while you wait for the borders to open.
While I wait.
Yeah, just as a placeholder. But so you do a lot of coaching and you help a lot of people through their blocks because it's not just learning a skill to implement. Sometimes you have to undo a lot of bad habits and a lot of negative thinking and just misconceptions. So what are some of those common blocks that you find a lot of people have as they come into your program that are sort of that typical block that you help people work through as one of the first steps in your process?
Yeah. And honestly, I'm the queen of blocks because my process around manifesting used to be focus on what you want, put your blinkers on, and just bulldoze your way there. That was it. That was how I manifested everything. So that's how I made my first million. It was just what I call a bulldozer method. But what I realized was that not everyone wants to just bulldoze their way to prosperity. Some people want an easier ride. And I also realized that I too had blocks. And I thought that by just bulldozing my way there, the blocks would just disappear. But the thing is, they don't disappear. You need to work on them. So what I find, not just with myself, but with many, many, many of my clients, is the blocks that really hold them back are kind of not ever having, and it might sound a bit silly, but not ever having been totally abundant or totally wealthy is the thing that actually blocks people because they can't get into the feeling of that. They can't believe that it's actually possible for them. They quite often think that it's possible for everyone else, but I'm different. I've got a bigger block, or there's something that's really holding me back, or I always self-sabotage. It's really just that thinking that it's going to work for everyone else, but it's not going to work for me. And that's something we really dive into early on in the program and all the things that I teach. It's understanding that the law of attraction is a universal law, which means that the universe doesn't say, well, okay, we're going to let this work for you, you, and you, but hang on, Flavia, sorry, it ain't going to work for you. It's like, no, it works for everyone. If you do the work, it will work for you. And so when I say do the work, it's understanding that when it comes to manifesting is not just about, as I mentioned, it's not just about meditating or visualizing and expecting whatever you desire to drop into your lap. Is actually about aligning body, mind, and spirit. And when you align those three things, that's when the magic happens. And what I mean by that is body, mind, and spirit. Well, we all know mind. Mind is how you think. So for me, when I wanted to become a millionaire, it was about imagining what being a millionaire would be like, imagining having the beautiful home and no one being able to kick me out of it and me having it exactly the way I want and being able to paint it the way I want and being able to put pictures up on the walls and no one saying you can't do that, no one increasing the rent, like having my own home and having a car that didn't leak so it grew a plant and having a cleaner to come in and clean my house, like, oh my gosh, and being able to travel and being able to do all the things that made my heart sing. So that's mind, thinking about what it is that you truly, truly want. And then spirit is feeling as if it's already happened. It's the feelings and the emotions because your thought sends the signal out to the universe, but it's your feelings that magnetize what it is you desire back to you. So it's about feeling what it's like to own that house and live in that house, even though you don't have it yet, but feeling what it would be like, feeling what it would be like to be in that car, feeling what it would be like to be traveling to all the places you've always wanted, feeling what it would be like to be living your dream life. So really getting emotionally connected and emotionally invested in what it is that you truly want. And then body, that's all about taking action. That's all about, as I said before, too many people think that you can sit around and meditate and what you desire is going to drop into your lap, but it doesn't work like that. You have to actually take action because when you take action, a couple of things happen. first thing that happens is your logical mind goes, oh, we're doing something to make this happen. And so it gets out of the way. It allows your creative side, your manifesting side to actually work better because your logical mind is right. Okay, this is real, as opposed to sitting there and expecting something to just magically appear before your eyes. So when you take action, you're telling yourself that this is real, but you're also showing the universe that it's real, that you are committed. And so many magical things can happen from that space. And that's why when I work with, because I only work in groups now, I don't just work individually, but and everyone in my community and everyone who works with me, they understand that it's all about aligning body, mind, and spirit. It's about your thoughts you think, how you feel, and the actions you take. And when you get all those three aligned, then absolute magic can happen. And I see it over and over again. And it just blows, even though this is what I teach, it blows my mind when I see what my students can create, manifest, and attract in their lives simply by doing exactly that, aligning body, mind, and spirit.
And do you think people get the most confused when they're trying to figure out, what do you mean by action? Like, what is it I need to do? I can see where students may have questions around that because there's no right answer, right? And it's going to be different for every single person. So how do you address that amorphous take action and actually make it something that's practical to apply for each person?
Yeah, great question. And you're right. I mean, I can't say, well, this is the action you need to take, because it all comes back to when you do those other two first, when you get your thoughts, thinking about what it is you truly want, you get real clarity on that. And then you begin to feel as if it's already happened and you get your emotionally involved. What happens then is you come up with inspired ideas. Just like I had the idea to email The Secret people, like, that just came out of nowhere. And I didn't stop and think, why am I emailing them? What am I emailing them for? I want to try and import The Secret. No, it was like, I just want to send you a gift. It was just an inspired idea. And I took action on it. I just sent an email. I didn't know all the steps that were going to happen and what would transpire at the end. It was just an inspired idea and I took action. And this is the thing. If you align your thoughts and your emotions, then ideas will come to you and you take action on those ideas. But as long as you're really clear on what it is you want to create and manifest in your world, then the ideas will come and it's just a matter of taking action on them. And when I say inspired ideas, there's a difference between just an idea and an inspired idea. An inspired idea, you'll know it's an inspired idea because things seem easy. They seem to fall into place. Things just seem to flow. When you're just taking action from a place of fear, everything seems really hard. You kind of get knocked sideways. Nothing seems to work out. You feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. But inspired idea, things just tend to fall into place and everything just kind of works out. And let me just say, just because you come up with an idea, it's not always going to be inspired and it's not always going to be hard work. Sometimes it's kind of in the middle. And the problem is most people get stuck in the thinking, what should I do this? Should I not do this? Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? And they end up doing nothing. Whereas I am the sort of person, and this is what I actually teach. We hear about and we learn about the kind of concept ready, aim, fire. So ready is all about, I believe that's when you come up with the idea and you're ready to get going on it. Aim is make sure everything is just right. Make sure you've got your ducks in a row. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. And fire is when you're actually making it happen. All right. I'm a little bit different than that. And I teach people that it's ready. Yep. Come up with the idea. Fire, just do it, and aim later. Aim is last. Aim is about tweaking, fixing, making it better, course correcting, realizing that maybe that wasn't the right course of action and so changing direction. It's about just do it, as Nike says, just do it, because you will learn and understand if the steps you have taken are the right ones so much quicker, so much faster if you just fire rather than coming up with the idea and getting stuck in the aim, trying to get it right, trying to perfect, trying to know the complete outcome and all the steps you have to take to get where you want to go. Because you can get stuck in there for not just hours, not just days, but weeks and months, and sometimes years. So when it's ready, fire, aim, so come up with an idea, take action, just make it happen, and then you'll know. You'll know because of the results. Either you're not getting anywhere at all and it seems like really hard work, in which case, whoop, change direction. And for me personally, every idea I've come up with, yes, some of them have made me millions of dollars. I've had a few ideas that have made me $3 million or $2 million or $1 million here. Or yes, it's been amazing, inspired ideas. But many of my ideas have been absolute flops and have lost me money. But I keep going. And that's the difference. I think people get stuck in the aim. They get stuck in the second guessing themselves. They get stuck in not knowing whether it's a right idea or a wrong idea, or should I take action, or should I do this, or should I do that? And they do nothing, and then nothing ever happens. So ready, fire, aim will get you ahead so much quicker. And the ideas that you come up with, you'll see whether they're right or wrong as you move forward.
Amazing. And I know you must have so many case studies and just great stories from your own students. I'm sure that you'd have to keep it sort of anonymous or maybe change some identifying info, but do you have any stories that are just amazing and fun to talk about?
Yeah, I do. So I think I love the manifesting stories. I love when people just money comes from nowhere. I think they're amazing. But I also love stories about people that have had some sort of hardship or challenge or struggle, and it's just resolved out of nowhere. So I had one student just a couple of months ago who emailed me to tell me that she had a $93,700 debt with the bank. And she said, just out of nowhere, she didn't even ask for it, just out of nowhere, they wrote to her and said that it was, she started going through Millionaire Mindset. She started doing all the work. It's a 10-week program. She started going through it, applying everything that she learned. And out of nowhere, they emailed her and contacted her to say, what was the term? We're forgiving your debt. We're cancelling it. You don't have to pay us back. And she was like, what? Like, that's $93,700 that they just decided she didn't have to pay them. So that's one story. But then I've got that's a beautiful debt just being released, dissolved, disappearing, just gone. And another story from a student who, she was in my program. The first time she went through the program, she was like a manifesting maven. She just manifested left, right, and center. But they were all kind of, I manifested a coffee. I manifested a free lunch from my sister. I manifested a discount on this thing. I manifested, the $5 check came to me from something. Like, they were all really tiny manifesting. Lots of manifesting, but they were all kind of small. I think the most impressive at that time was she got $1,000 from some rebate for something. So that was kind of nice, but not overly impressive. And I said to her, look, because she said, I'm really enjoying this course and I'm really enjoying manifesting, but I just feel like something's missing. And I said, what's missing is you're not thinking big enough. You're just thinking too small. I said, you've got to really expand your thinking, really think about what's possible. Think about how you'd like your dream life to be. Free coffees and a lunch and, discounts. That's nice, but that's not really a dream life. Just think about what your dream life would be. She came back to me 3 months later and said, I have just manifested my dream job, $165,000 a year pay. And I've just sold my house that I've had on the market for 9 years for $200,000 more than we thought we'd get. So it's like, it all comes down to your mind. It all comes down to when you spend time thinking and dreaming about what you truly want, the universe has the most magical ways to bring you what it is you desire. And when you think that you are the one that has to think it up, create it, manifest it, make it all happen, you're only part of the puzzle. You've just got to design your life, and the universe will create it, attract it, and manifest it for you. So you've just got to get really clear on how you want your ideal life to be. What would you be doing? What would you have? Where would you go? What would be your day-to-day? And just let the universe figure out all the details, and magic can absolutely happen.
I love those case studies. Absolutely love those stories. So tell us about your podcast. You said you have a podcast. What's the format? Where can people go to subscribe to it? And I'm sure that because everyone listening to this is obviously a podcast listener, I would know I'm going to subscribe and add you to my feed.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Like, I have wanted to do a podcast. I'm talking for probably a decade. I've even had my graphic. It was designed like well over a year and a half ago. So I was like, but it was one of those things that I kept thinking, and this is just, I'm human like everyone else. I had the same good days, bad days, ups and downs. And I kept thinking, who would want to listen to me? Like, why would anyone want to listen to me on a podcast? I just felt like, who is going to ever listen? I'm going to put out this podcast and no one is going to listen. But what changed it for me was I started being interviewed on podcasts over and over again. And I thought, you know what? I got something good to say here. I'm going to have my own podcast. So I launched Wildly Wealthy Women just over a month ago. It's all about money, manifesting, and mindset. At this point, it's just me. In the future, I've got some amazing women lined up to share their money manifesting secrets. But right now, it's just me. And it's short, sharp, and to the point. So the podcast sessions are usually only anything from 15 minutes to half an hour, because I just really want to give people enough inspiration and get them excited and get them to see that, you know what, manifesting is fun and manifesting can be easy. When you align body, mind, and spirit, magic can happen. So yeah, you can find it on, I guess, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's Wildly Wealthy Women.
Well, I think everyone should immediately after we wrap here, go find it, subscribe, and you can listen to Sandy every time you turn on your podcast app, because Sandy, I have gotten so inspired and motivated. I'm a big believer in manifestation myself, and but you can never ever have too much of that focus. I mean, I've read hundreds of books on the topic, and I want to read thousands more. So thank you so much for coming on and inspiring and motivating me. I hope a lot of people who've listened feel the same, and I welcome you back to the show anytime, Sandy.
Thank you so much. And I just want to leave people with a thought that understand that I am not anyone special. I'm exactly like everyone listening. I dropped out of high school in grade 11, didn't even finish high school. I ended up $100,000 in debt and on welfare after trying to start a business. I really struggled, but when I learned the law of attraction, I decided to make it work. And I decided that I was really at rock bottom, so I really had no choice. But it was like it was either that or nothing. And so I really, really embraced it. And I really, just like you, I haven't stopped learning. It's not like, oh, I know the law of attraction now. I teach the law of attraction. That's it. I'm done. I'll just share what I know. I'm continually learning, continually listening to podcasts, continually reading books or going to seminars and doing whatever I can to immerse myself. And I think the immersion in something is what really helps you to master it and to make it work. So, anyone who's listening, if you love the law of attraction, do whatever you can to really immerse yourself, because things will just change, things will transform, and you will create a life that you truly didn't ever believe was possible if you really, really continue to put steps into place and align that body, mind, and spirit. The magic will happen for you too.
Sandy, it's been such a privilege speaking with you today. Can't wait to connect again.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Guess what, lifestyle solopreneurs? If you don't yet have an online business earning you enough passive income to live the life of your dreams, I'd like to suggest you consider trying out Kajabi. Kajabi is an all-in-one solution where you can create and teach online courses, publish a paid newsletter, launch a free or paid podcast, process payments, build one-on-one coaching portals for your clients, and much, much more. I personally use Kajabi to power numerous successful and profitable online businesses. Lifestyle solopreneurs, there's a free trial of Kajabi waiting for you at this link, www.kfreetrial.com. You can try Kajabi for free, no obligation, by going to www.kfreetrial.com. Again, kfreetrial.com, and that K stands for Kajabi. Starting an online business helped me break free from that corporate grind, and I hope it does the same for you. You have nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, and see you next time.